Hey friends, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name's Kristen, and today I'm making a sculpted acrylic set inspired by Japanese Kawaii Nails. I'll show some inspiration pics shortly. They turn out so cute and so sparkly, and yeah, hopefully that sounds like a good time to you. Like and subscribe, and let's get into it. These tips that I'm using are a 3XL coffin, non-C-curve. I don't really remember where I got them, probably AliExpress. They're not like the best quality, but they do the job. I'm applying them with regular nail glue. Normally I would use base gel, but I always cure them on kind of crooked, and I thought maybe the glue would help me, like give me a little bit more working time so that I get them on straight for once. And they're like mostly straight. The pointer finger is not. Yeah, the pointer finger isn't straight, but it's not that noticeable, so it's fine. I did like a rough job trimming them down with my nail clippers, and then I'm just like filing them into a long rounded almond shape. So yeah, these nails are inspired by Japanese kawaii style, and like Japanese nail art is like a whole thing on its own. There's so many like beautiful trendy things that come out of Japan, but yeah, I was I decided to like kind of narrow down the inspiration, so I mostly looked at this page on Instagram called nolimit.osaka, and they yeah, I just love the aesthetic. I'm pretty sure it's a group of nail artists working in one salon, but the styles are all kind of like similar. And I took like all my inspiration from that page. I'm mimicking the longer almond shaped nails that I saw on that page because that's a shape that I don't really normally do. I would either do like stiletto or coffins. So doing this kind of like long rounded, almost like a Russian tube shape, actually. But yeah, so this shape is kind of a new thing for me, and I'm trying to sculpt them really flat. Like Apex who, she doesn't live here today. We are not worrying about the apex at all. Just from what I observed, it seems like they don't really sculpt an apex that often either. I'm wondering if like all the charms add extra strength, but we'll find out. So yeah, I'm on purpose trying to make these like really flat and like not that sculpted. This flash glitter acrylic from Enail Couture worked exactly how I wanted it to. I kind of like using acrylic more like painterly versus like sculpty, like sculpting around the blob. I like to be able to drag it around. So I was able to get that thin consistency, evenly distribute the glitter, and it wasn't curing very fast, which, you know, some people might like, some people might not like. I preferred that it wasn't curing very fast. I liked having a little bit of extra work time to move the sparkles around and stuff. So yeah, I really like this glitter acrylic. Super happy I got it. So I'm not going to show every finger, every step. I'm just going to show like one or two for every step. So once I've finished doing that thin layer of the glitter acrylic, the flash glitter, I'm going to try to do a thin layer of speed clear acrylic. This is from Young Nails. It's my personal favorite clear acrylic, although I haven't tried that many. It does cure faster, hence why it's called speed clear. So I do have a tendency to work a bit faster with this one, but I'm just so happy to actually see improvement because I always add too much clear and I always end up filing so much, so long. But I really did good this time doing thin layers of acrylic, not overdoing it, not overdoing it on the clear. I did a little bit on this pinky, but it was my first one. The pinky's always the first one and always has the most mistakes. But yeah, this was probably my best encapsulated acrylic application that I've ever done. And it's really encouraging because it makes me want to do more. And I was also shocked how it didn't take me as long as it normally does to sculpt an acrylic set. Cutting down that filing time was huge. And I know that that's the goal, right? Get your application good enough so that you don't spend hours filing. So I'm getting there. Yay. So this acrylic brush that I'm using is the first acrylic brush I ever owned, and I've been using it for like everything for the last 2 years, so it's in really rough shape, and like I have a few times tried other brushes, but I just don't like them. I only like this Young Nails brush, and acrylic Kolinsky brushes are so damn expensive that I haven't been able to like justify getting another one since I've been able to get decent application, even though my brush is like, oh, that poor brush. It is not doing so well. But anyway, let's get into the filing. So I'm starting out with this medium grit tungsten carbide drill bit. I got it from Shein. I don't know. I couldn't find it on there anymore. It said it was out of stock. So maybe it has different sellers now or something. But anyway, I love these drill bits. I've got like the medium and the coarse, and I use them all the time. I only used it around the cuticle and nail bed area to take down some bulk. I don't have great control of the nail drill in terms of filing down like the length of the nail. So I always switch to the hand file to do like that part. And look how thin the side profile is. I'm so pleased with that. It was so encouraging because I think it only took me like 30 minutes to file and shape this set. And that's huge for me. I I'm proud. I could finally like have an idea as to like how nail techs are able to like make so many sets a day or make like one or two sets a day because you can speed up, you can get faster. And yeah, getting the application good so that you don't have to file so much. Like I've heard that so many times, but I finally am seeing the results of that. I'm pretty sure I cut my cuticle a little bit though using this hand file. I'm so rough when it comes to using the hand file. Like I should really be more careful around my cuticle because it was like fine, but then like after I wipe the dust away, there's like a red spot and I'm like, I definitely did that with the hand file. I'm just going to show a little bit more filing and then we'll move on to the next step. Oh, and I had promised myself that I wouldn't be super like, I don't know, like anal or tedious about getting like a perfect shape. So, if the lines aren't perfectly straight, I'm okay with it because we are literally going to douse these in charms. They're going to be covered. You'll barely be able to see the sculpted shape. So, I'm really pleased. Like the shape turned out amazing. Like, check that out. But I was not striving for perfection this time. So next we're going to do like a gradient effect. I picked out this shimmery blue from Your Sugar. It is a cat's eye, but we're not going to use the cat's eye. I only picked it because it was the best like translucent blue that I had that matched the blue in all the charms that I had picked out. So that's why we're going with this color. This effect is super easy to achieve. I do have this blending brush that I used, and the blend was great, pretty seamless. Everything's very translucent, so it was easy to do. Oh, and I did do 2 coats, so I would do this on all the nails, and then I did it again. Not sure if I needed to do it twice, but I did. And here's how they are looking. I don't really love the gradient effect on its own. Like to me, they need something. And instead of doing a top coat right here, I'm doing a layer of base gel. I'm using the Born Pretty base gel, I think because it's a little bit thinner than my Tickled Pinque one, if I recall. So yeah, I included this because I don't actually show the top coat later. So this is the closest thing we're going to get to a top coat reveal moment. And the reason I'm using base gel here is to help adhere the charms. Personally, I think base coat is the best bonding agent that we have in our arsenal. It works better than any nail glue gel that I've ever tried. But because it's so thin, base gels are so thin, it doesn't really work for adhering large charms. So anyway, my OGs are understanding. They know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I wanted to show you this because I hit my nail on the oven. I didn't feel anything, but it did break off. And I just glued it back together with regular nail glue. And because it's going to be covered in charms, we're not even going to be able to notice that little crack on there. But back to my obsession with base coat. So I'm going to, for all the charms, I'm taking the time to add a little bit of base coat to the backs of them. And then I will cure it, and then I'll apply them with a thicker nail glue. And I know I've talked about this before, but my God, these charms would not come off. If you do this, if you layer the glue gel between base coat, your charms will never come off. In fact, it'll be so inconvenient when you go to take off your nails. It'll feel like you don't know how you're even going to take them off. You'll be drilling them off. You'll be doing all kinds of crazy things. And yeah, that's how I want it though. I would rather have that than have them pop off randomly. If any of you know of a glue gel that works up to my ridiculously high standard of adhesion, please let me know because I would love to cut out this base coat step. It's an extra step, right? I wish somebody would just make a thicker glue gel that's base coat basically. But anyway. The placement is all inspired by that Instagram page. And, oh, I wanted to point this out. I planned out the placement. I mean, you guys can see it there. I kind of planned out where all the charms would go. And I'm so happy that I did that because when I go freestyle, I'm not always happy with the finished product. But this, I don't know, I had more control and I was really pleased that I took that extra step to actually plan it out. So I'm not going to show decorating every nail, and I'm going to do the thumb and the pointer finger off camera. And for the top coat, I ended up having to use I would pour out some of my Tickled Pink top coat and use like a smaller brush to get around all the details. But here's how we're at. I am still going to add a few more charms to like the teddy bear and that butterfly and stuff. And we're pretty much done. All right, I'm creeping in with the finished set. It's so chaotic and lovely. I felt like maybe they weren't like me. Like I loved wearing them and I did wear them for I think 3 or 4 days. But part of me was just like, would these look cuter on a little Japanese girl? I don't know if they really like suit my more sporty style. But I have been obsessed with this style on Instagram and I just really wanted to recreate it. And I was hoping it would give me kind of like a creative refresh just to make something that is a little bit outside of my own personal style, try to make it my own. And sure enough, I did have an idea for a new movie and nails, which is going to be coming up, maybe not for another few weeks, but it's definitely coming. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.